Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon on this sunny Thursday, the 6th of September, 2018. God, it's still September. Not still. I can't believe it's September. It's crazy. Ooh, there we go. Okay. Um, all right. What do we got moving on here? I mean, what don't we have going on? Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the massacre that has occurred. And I tell you what, this is fun stuff. This is the kind of stuff we want to see happening. So, when we were talking yesterday, that was on the 5th, and we were talking around noon, we just had that drop from the 7,400 value area down to really the 7,600. And then after we got off the horn last night, we dropped from, let's see, what did we get? From 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, we went even further. We dropped 15% over that day. We dropped over $1,100 in value. Big drop. Huge poopy drop. And here's the thing. The drop happens, and what do people do? They want to look for reasons. They want to look for answers. Like, there always has to be a reason why. And so that's why you see people talking about Goldman Sachs. And just think about this for a second. Goldman Sachs wasn't even doing anything really in their crypto trading, and they were going to close it down. Does that sound like any kind of news that would actually really move a market? No. No. that is not even a quantifiable amount of change to do anything. They're not even it boggles my mind that is actually, it doesn't boggle my mind, but it annoys me that people believe that those are the reasons why prices fall. They say, well, why price fall? Because let's just quick Google search something and say, oh, it's because of Goldman Sachs. All right. Well, if we were here yesterday, and we were here the day before and last week, and we looked at this mirrored foldback pattern, we knew that change was coming up here pretty soon. It was really looking at kind of the 19th area, so that's a little sooner. But really, if we look at the foldback pattern we're looking at, this is right in the prime time for prices to drop. I mean, we are right in that swing zone for the fall to happen. It's not the ratio from this high and this. If you look at the kind of dark hash marks here, from this swing down to this swing, the ratio price difference from here to here is not drastic. It's certainly well within the price structure. And how do I know it's the structure? Because it looks like it. That's how you look at these foldback patterns. Is you're not looking for the exact mirror image. You're kind of looking at a reflection like you would if you're looking at like your reflection in a puddle of water after a rain. There's wind or something, and you can, even though your reflection isn't exact, because the water moves a little bit, you still know what it looks like. And that's exactly what's going on here. So this drop is actually perfectly normal and appropriate, and is very, very expected. Okay. Now, what does that mean moving forward? That means it looks like we get a little bit of chop trade moving forward, where actually the present value area and maybe up towards 6,800 is where we chop around for a few days before we have another big drive up that surpasses the 7,500 zone. And because we're looking at a 1, 2, 3 drive higher here, and that is the most probable behavior. If we're following the mirrored foldback pattern, if that's still going to play out the way that it shows, then we are definitely looking at a nice bounce from this one. And we actually have had a pretty nice bounce from here. You know, we see that wait, somebody sent me a picture. I think it's the other two Forex Lens guys. So I wonder if that's that. Oh, I bet it is. I go sometimes I'm on Sirius XM, believe it or not, and I go on Canada Talks, and I think that's who that is. If I'm thinking it, the other two guys that make up Forex Lens, they're the big cheeses. I'm just the guy who talks, but they're the ones who like make sure everything runs. They're the ones who make it work. Because I can't and don't do what they do, and they don't do what I do. So it's a very good working relationship that way, because they have their individual expertise and I have mine, and it works out perfect. Anyways, looking at this market, looking at this drive here, I want to zoom out a little bit. Actually, this is the daily. Go from here to here. We're right inside a nice supply zone. In fact, if we were to bring it just from the most recent swing low to current, you know, we are the POC volume point of control is sitting right here at 63.59. That's a pretty nice supply spot. Really don't see a lot of things indicating any lower there. All we've really done is we formed a third higher low from a major move down. This was a major move down from 8,400 down to 59 to 6,000-ish, 5,900, and then this was a big move down from 7,400 down to 62, 6,300. So those swings are just, you know, they've just created. I thought so. It's Andrew Crystal. So, right. Okay. Andrew Crystal's the host, Crystal Nation on Sirius XM. That's the station I go on every once in a while. So, we've got this drive here, and we're holding this level. Bring it down to the hourly and see what's going on. You know, the hourly is actually pretty supportive right now. Just take a look at the hourly. We're 8 minutes in, and I mean, this is a pretty telling candlestick, because we're 8 minutes in, and look at the volume on it. That's something to take a note of. Let's bring it down to the 15-minute. There's our telltale sign. So we had some nice increased movement down, but that has promptly been bought up, and the push down on the 15-minute was low volume. So this is all just kind of forming a base pattern. In fact, if you trade Forex or futures, especially like the NQ, that's the NASDAQ futures, this looks like a V shape that we're forming here. It could be a V-shaped bottom. And let me get that drawn here. This would be a V bottom is basically this. It's a pretty violent move. Now, in price action trading, when we see moves like this is called a blow-off move. And these moves are blow-off moves are fast, swift. They are typically pretty violent, but then they sputter out. And there's generally often a repeat of that price action. Okay, this is like a micro parabolic move here. In fact, we were talking about parabolic rises last Friday, I think. Thursday and Friday, we were talking about parabolic rises, where we had to be careful of what Bitcoin was doing, because it was, on a short term, it was looking a little parabolic on that move. So, ooh, the US dollar Canadian dollar is finally doing some selling. Gosh, Forex has been boring lately. Ugh. Let's see. And now they're talking about Canadian. Now they're talking about some Canadian hockey players. I don't know who they are. Okay, so Bitcoin, yes, nice little bounce there. We look at some of the altcoin markets. Let's look at Cardano catching a nice little bid there. We're in a isometric triangle. If we get some responsive heavy buying off these lows and start pushing up, we pretty much have a bull market in the bag. Basic attention token is doing well for the day. Nano, of course. XLM. Right. I want to show you a cool... this right here. This is Coinigy. And I don't know if I've ever gone over this before, but Coinigy is a really cool service. It's a monthly service. If you don't trade a lot, you probably don't need it. It's like $22 a month, or it's $18.99 a month if you do the annual. And that's like you pay the $200 a year. And what this is, Coinigy is like an everything under one roof platform, web platform. I dig it. They've done so much more to this. I put money into it like last year because I really liked the vision behind it and the idea behind it. I knew that they were developing it, and I recently came back to it to see what they've done, and it is just really, really great. There's still more that they're doing, but all of the exchanges are on the left here. So, and I love this on the top right. If you see that popped up, Block Apps announces new virtual private blockchain on Block App Strato. Like, the news feed on here is just badass. It just pops up all the time with stuff related to any news, blockchain, any crypto related stuff. It constantly keeps you in the loop. In fact, I've been using this more lately because I can easily access all the different exchanges that I like to trade on. So, I mean, look at all these. They're all over the place. So we have, this is like Kraken is right here. So if I want to look at the Kraken Ethereum British pound pair, that's right there. That doesn't get a lot of volume, does it? Or Bitcoin Cash dollar on Kraken. That's right there. We have, let's see, Bittrex, ADX and Bittrex right there, or Binance. And we could look at, what about ETH or Bitcoin Cash? Where are you at? How about Cardano, Tether? Cardano, Tether on there. So everything's using the TradingView API there. This is awesome over here. We have the data. I love the order book here. This is the order book. This is way better. I don't know. This is a user preference, but looking at the order book from here, the horizontal way, I like the vertical better. But what's really great about this is on Coinigy, it highlights where these walls are on the exchange. So this is telling us there's a wall at a buy wall here at 084, and then 83, and then on the asks, we're seeing a wall at 87, 88.5, 86.48. So if we look here, there's not a lot between the current price value of 80. What are we trading at? 85.31. There's the next walls that looks like at 87, and we can see that, or 86.48. We can see that right here. That's 129,541 Cardano sitting right there. Pretty evenly distributed order book from here, but I really like to see it like this. This is a pretty neat looking interface. And then you have to connect your API to this. So I have Binance's and Bitrix's and a whole bunch of other ones. No, actually, I just, for the purpose of this video, and then I was doing a recording of this for another client, I only connected Binance to this today. Yeah. So I could buy and sell on here like, all right, so let's say I wanted to sell like 1% of my Cardano limit order. And wait, can you not do market on here? And so anyways, 1% of that's telling me I'll receive $26.61, and I can put in that sell now, and we would see that order sit there until it was executed, but I'm not going to order it. And then the alerts, oh my gosh, these alerts are so badass. They, one of them is, in fact, I'm going to have to turn the desktop audio on the stream so you can hear it. Oh, where's that? Little nostalgia for you. I mean, they've done really well with this setup. So if I set an alarm where I had like a big profit target set and it were to hit, that's the sound I would get. Or if there was a price area that I wanted like a mental stop to remind me of, there's that. They have all sorts of fun sounds here. Oh yeah, they have Zelda. Yeah, there you go. It's a very, very cool system. But what I really like about this is they have the important price targets here, like the all-time low, your monthly, your weekly lows, and then the monthly, weekly, all-time highs. You can set alerts for. That is just great, guys. This is awesome. They've done a really nice job with that. And then the economy, really, they're just giving you information about the. If we looked at, we'd have to look at a coin that we know does stuff. Look at Ethereum. So look at Ethereum. Oh, they don't have it on there? Oh, no, that's Ethereum Classic. Proof of work, Digger Hashimoto. There's others like, I don't know, ZEC, do they have it on here? No. Monero, they probably do, though. XMR, confirmation time 1 to 2 minutes. Mining algo. It's Crypto Night. Clever. I wonder if they have nanos on here, because nano's crazy, stupid fast. Nano. Nope. So not everything's on there. Then you can have like notes. You can write notes to yourself on here, like if you need to like know something. Ooh, Nano might have a nice breakout here coming up, folks. That'd be really interesting. So yeah, this is really cool. Let's see what else. I don't want to share my API keys with the whole world, so I'm not going to do that. Balances. Oh yeah, the apps. The Newswire. This is great. I actually have this pulled up on another screen so I can constantly get the updates, but otherwise they pop up on the bottom right. And that's really awesome that all these things just pop up. Yeah, this is the big one that I've been talking about this forever and a day, ever since the ETF thing was going to come back, ever since that Hester Pierce, the commissioner that wrote that really scathing dissent about the ETFs. Like, there are 4 Trump appointees on the SEC commission. There is no way the ETF is not getting approved. All right, these guys are now they're supposed to be totally like politically neutral, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. These guys are anti-regulatory. They despise that the SEC has acted as a warden and a gatekeeper for the free markets. The SEC is supposed to be like the NFL referees, okay? They don't create the rules. They just enforce the ones that the participants want enforced. They don't create the rules. They create the ones that are that the league agrees to, okay? They're just supposed to be the enforcers of the rules. They're not supposed to create shit up. They're not supposed to make their own interpretations of things, like the denial of Bitcoin ETF based on the exchanges and the people wanting to offer the ETF. They could not prove that the underlying that the derivative was not manipulated, or that there wasn't enough controls to prevent manipulation. If that's a deciding criteria for a ETF, or they call them ETPs, electronically traded products, if that's like the thing that stops an ETP from coming out, manipulation, unable to prove it, there's a lot of things that should not be out there and approved then. But I've been saying this for ever and a day. In fact, I wrote about it on Coin Clarity last, I don't know how long ago. Just because I want to make sure I'm not telling a lie here. See, mirrored foldback. Holy short interest Batman. Where is that article? Maybe it wasn't written. Global market changes ahead. Trump's SEC appointees. This was on August 25th. Okay, August 25th, I wrote about this, where the Hester Pierce, she came out against the refusal to get the denial. So they're revisiting that. This is definitely going to happen. Very excited about it. Okay, now looking here. What is this? This is on Coinigy. This is the arbitrage matrix, the ARB matrix. Arbitrage. I'm going to get into technical analysis here, folks, just for a second, but this is one of my favorite little things. An arbitrage opportunity means that you are basically buying something at an exchange at one price and getting it at a profit at another at the same time. Okay, you're making arbitrage is just making a difference on the spread of something between two places. It's like a hedge. The hedge funds are really well known for arbitrage opportunities. So looking at these, I mean, you look at it, basically on the left, it says, you would buy from this exchange and sell it on the ones up above. So if I look at Binance and I see this exchange BTCM, what is this? BTCM. What market is that? BTCM. I have no idea. Oh, it'll tell me if I click BTC markets. Don't know what that exchange is. Might be shady looking. Welcome to BTC Markets. Trade blockchain assets with ease. I have no idea what this is, but now I want to look at it. Oh, it's an Aussie exchange. Well, we'll see. They probably don't accept U.S. clients. All right. Anyways. Oh, what is this? Oh, Ethereum Aussie dollar. Okay. So, looking at the arbitrage opportunity here, the thing is like, you have to know where you're going with this, what the spread is, what are your all-in costs for a round turn, they call it. So, like CPIA, here's the spread. I could buy it on Binance for $13.24 and sell it at $13.44. But there's a good chance that I can't open an account there, or I can't get an exchange, or it might take too long. The other thing is that you have to. How long does it take to transfer? What's the difference going to be when it gets there, and what are the transfer costs? You have to factor all these things in. If or Bittrex, they have it. I could do that with Bittrex, 0.45. That's the difference. 13.24 versus 13.30. But I know Bittrex, they have a pretty ugly spread. Yeah, so I probably wouldn't do that. But I mean, we could look at Bitcoin or actually Ethereum. Why isn't that? What in the world? Why is this is acting really weird? Oh well. But that's the ARB matrix. Let me refresh it. By the way, if you hear any banging again, still that's the contractors are here. So, all right, so Lake here. There's a $9 difference between GDAX and Lake. Okay, that's the spread. Now, this is a British exchange, and they charge an arm and a leg for doing things, so you would not make money here. QCX and Live, I'm not sure. I have no idea what XMO is. There's so many exchanges, guys. It's ridiculous. But, like, if I was looking at... I want to see like BTC USDT. Now I can see blech. I have no idea where that is. There's not a lot of spread opportunities here, but if there's an exchange that has a monstrous spread, that's probably a monster spread for a reason and not a good one. But yeah, this is a cool service that they have. You can connect your APIs to it. There's the Market Watch, Crypto Ticker is a I mean, if you don't trade all day, I guess this is cool to have. But I mean, if you trade all day like I do, they are Google Sheets. This is awesome because it puts all of your crypto stuff in a very neat format. It's almost worth it just to do that. But okay, let's get back to the price action going on here. I'm going to check out that exchange later. Binance, Cardano. So I said I don't want to sell there. Why does that still exist? I have no idea. I don't have an order there. Okay, so looks like we're getting a bit of a nice bid here being caught on the bottom. This price got halted at the 6301.94. That is a 4/8 inner harmonic. That is the exact mid between the major harmonic of 5041 and 7562. So that is the exact mid there that we've got. The retracement, I believe, oops. Yeah, we got back down past the 6. We're in between the 7/8 and the 166, the 618. So yeah, we're in a support zone. Yeah, a little bit of a violent drop yesterday. When there were so many, I was sitting and trading these chat folks, and the chat was so panicky, and I could not help but pick some more things up, and yeah, so I picked up, actually rotated my entire portfolio for my speculative trading. And I picked up Cardano, Stellar, Basic Attention Token, OX, Nano, Walton, and wait, I still have some Bitcoin sitting around? What the hell? Got to change that. Oh, I could do it over here. I want to buy ADA on Binance. And yeah, buy. Guess that limit order did get hit. So now it tells me that my order's been placed. Cool. And if it gets tagged, it gets tagged. Cool. All right. Yes, so I've got Cardano, XLM, Basic Attention Token, Nano, Walton, and Bitcoin. Those are my current holdings. In fact, I'll just share that with you right now for my speculative trading. I use Binance for my like day trading and some swing trading, but otherwise, I have Bittrex. I have all of my coins that I'm a hodler for, and Kraken. I have a large chunk of cash sitting on there because that's where I short, and then I like to fiddle around with stuff on Binance, but Cardano's my single largest holding. I love to swing Cardano a lot. Stellar Lumen's big tension token. Nano was looking pretty nice today. So was Walton. And Bitcoin's that resting order that I've got. It's just a little itty bitty amount there. So, again, looking at Nano. Nano looks like it could have a little bit of a breakout here. It has found support. If we were to draw a parallel channel, we could be setting up for a nice breakout here. Whoa, US dollar, Canadian dollar, 1 second. Holy cow. That fell down hard. Holy cow, I'm happy that got hit. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love it. This is the freaking annoying trade I've been waiting for to hit all last couple days. Okay, sorry. Cardano. I'm liking the rounded bottom here. Let's take a look at this with the Ichimoku system. Kind of all over the place today, sorry. Again, if you have questions, just let me know. Wow. Die, US dollar, die. I can say that the dollar should die because I tell you what, a strong, healthy US dollar is good. One that is beating the shit out of everybody is not. Doesn't do anybody good. The emerging markets are doing shitty. Pardon my French, but they're doing so crap because the dollar is like way up there. But I mean, everybody's freaked out. But okay, so let's look at the Bitcoin pair of Cardano here. So we've got the daily Cardano chart up on the top left. We've got the 4-hour on the top right, and we got the hourly on the bottom right. So rules of the Ichimoku system are basically we only take long trades if we're above the cloud. We only take short trades if we're below the cloud, unless we're talking about the daily chart, because oftentimes when things cross above the conversion line below the cloud, or the baseline rather, that's a sign that the long-term trend is changing. So when I'm looking at the 4-hour and I see the 1 hour, pretty evident to me that there's a triangle here forming, some type of symmetrical triangle. All right. So we want to break out above there. On the hourly, we see the same thing. We'll do trend lines for this one. So we'll go from that low to this low here. Whoa, that is a... Why is that so damn wide? There we go. And there. So we're looking out for watching. We want to break out to the top side above this symmetrical triangle. You know, I'm tempted to. I mean, I bought last night. I had 5 targets that were hit, and my stops were almost hit. Thank God they didn't get hit. But yeah, you're looking for this triangle to break. That's what we really want to see, as prices break up there. Otherwise, you know, there is the condition where we're just experiencing the a pullback from this drive down, where we're forming just for another drop. That is also in the cards. So just just be careful about that and be aware of that. Basic attention token, very similar chart on both the daily, the 4-hour, and the hourly. Really not seeing a whole lot of deviation there. XLM, again, the daily chart's on the top left, 4-hour chart's on the top right, and then the hourly entry chart is down below. Looking at this here, not seeing a whole lot of, this is one to watch, because on the daily chart for XLM, we've got a pretty clear head and shoulders pattern that is attempting to get played out here, but so far, that neckline break that's happening is actually catching a nice bid. It doesn't look like we are seeing a whole lot of come on. Wherever the line's going to be, but this line is kind of the make or break for XLM, and it's surprised it's not shared by others, but this pair was actually pretty resilient. Yesterday when I put out where is that at? I put out on Telegram that I had some trade ideas. I was looking at things I'm adding in my portfolio. This is when we were talking yesterday near the end. DGD, ADA, BATX, or MXLM, OMG, QTUM. I'm upset that I did not pick up two of those. I'm upset that I did not pick up DGD, because that was a pretty resilient trade yesterday. It was already at yearly lows, and it's like the ugly chart of cryptos. And it's doing pretty well. And then the other one is my baby that I hold on to, is Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold has had an inverse move to a majority of this activity. It's actually had a nice a drive higher. It's actually done very well. It was a source of stability in these moves. So yeah, Bitcoin Gold, pretty impressed with how it traded, given its lack of participation and the bearish news about Bittrex that was going on. So definitely Bitcoin Gold, I really, really do like it still. I might add to it once we move across bullish here on the daily. Let's see some other trades. LSK, Lisk actually on the daily was one that I was taking a peek at. It just started to trend down when it got inside the cloud. It couldn't really find any type of a rally higher. It just kind of got stuck in where it's at. On the hourly though, Lisk is looking like it may have a breakout if it can keep this momentum. The breakout though, it may be too close to the top of the cloud here on the 4-hour chart. So, if we're waiting for the lagging span to break above the cloud when price does, we're looking at the 62.33, and 62.33 is actually might be good enough. Yeah, I'm going to put that ID in there. I'll type that in here. What is that? 62.33. That is not, it's not LSD, it's LSK. All right. That'll get the regulators. LSK BTC, long add 0.123, 6233. Got that one. Hourly, look, mini little bull flag there. Might get a little break. Discounting that wick there. The daily may get a nice little drive. We shall see. Neo actually, or OMG actually. Let's take a peek at OMG. OMG 4 hours looking okay. The hourly's got a nice early warning sign. We may be trading higher. It's actually recovered quite a bit. Stopped at the conversion and baseline. Yeah, holding off on this one. Neo. Neo really struggling. Daily, don't like that one. Not gonna worry about it. Let's see. Oh, Lend. Lend usually gets a little bit of activity now and then. Oh, not a lot. It's looking pretty ugly. Dash. Let's take a peek at Dash, and then I want to take a peek at Monero as well. Let me help you after the stream compilation. I'm wondering what the issue is. We are our own tech support and customer support too. Is it the for the Litecoin? You know what? Let's just do this. Okay, then we can try it with me then. Oh, why? What am I doing? I don't need to put my email in there. I can just put in the the public key, so you can do it that way. 1 second. Maybe they don't know what they're doing. I know what I'm doing. I love Litecoin. It's one of my favorites. That is... That's a Cardano address. There we go. Try that one. Compilation. That one should work. Okay, looking at Dash. Dash has got a pretty nice little spinner in there on the daily. The 4 hour looking a little heavy on the sell, but the hourly's looking a little better. We'll see what the recovery is like on there. Oh, XMR, that's right. Man, this one got hammered yesterday. Monero just got beat. 4 hour, 1 hour. Yeah, and really not looking at a great one there at all either. Steam. Steam is fast. I don't know if you've ever sent stuff from one exchange to the other using Steam. Oh my gosh, it's crazy fast. Try sending Steam ones from Bittrex to Binance or from steemit.com wallet to your Binance or Bittrex address. Holy cow, is that fast. It is awesome. All right, so Steemit, nice, beautiful double tweezer bottom on the daily here. This is a really nice. I love that. That is a great reversal setup. We just got to get the volume to come in. 4 hour, looking all right so far. Very weak cloud in front of us. It'll be easy to cross above that on the 4 hour. The 1 hour, getting a little closer here. Getting up against the slant of the cloud might be a little difficult, but yeah, Steam has a very low fee. Yep, Steam has low fee. Nano has like no fee. Cardano has a low fee. Does EOS still have a low fee? EOS is pretty fast too. Gosh, anybody remember 2000, was it last year? Bitcoin's fee? It was just ridiculous. Ugh. XEM, let's check out NEM. Ooh, that is a nice one. So what is going on in this market is we're seeing a lot of the coins that were not trading in a upwards trend prior to this massive dump. They are actually the outperformers right now. And so two of them that we've identified already are Digix Dio. This is the virtual gold, and Bitcoin Gold. These are the ones that have kind of been outperforming their peers, and they were lagging significantly during the little bull run that we had that just formed a bearish flag. So, that is a thing to look at. Let's look at EOS. What is EOS doing? Again, if EOS would have come out and did all their, like back in June, EOS had their the mainnet was launching. That voting issue was a pain in the butt, and I think it pumped up to 30 some bucks, 28 some bucks. I don't remember, but if EOS had done that during the months of October to December last year, that would have been stupidly expensive crypto. But okay, looking at EOS on the daily, it is definitely uglier than its peers. The 4-hour still really low here, but the 1-hour looks like it may have a little bit of a drive higher. And just from a price action standpoint, I think getting in along above the high around here would actually not be a bad trade. In fact, that's what I kind of want to do. What are we at? 5.24. Now, as far as profit targets go, because I know some people have asked me, like, well, how come you don't have the profit targets identified? 2 reasons. It's the same reason I don't usually suggest stops, and that's because people will move them anyways. It doesn't matter. You will end up moving them. But I will give a little bit of an idea of what you could do. So let's look at let's look at the cloud again. So if we look at, let's do this with just one. And all right, so we're looking at EOS here. Actually, let's look at Bitcoin. So taking a look at Bitcoin on a 4-hour chart, and let's pretend we took a short. On the Ichimoku system, one of the things that different folks will say, and that's correct, is that the stops are determined by the cloud. So if we're trading up above the cloud, if we took a long trade at the breakout, then our stop is just a little bit below the cloud. That's where the stop is. That's like your emergency stop. Otherwise, if you're actively managing the trade, it could trail slightly below the baseline, or you could wait for things to happen, like when you see the lagging span cross into price. That is telling you that we're entering consolidation, might want to get out. When you see price cross below the conversion line, that's the blue line. If price drops below that and is failing to go back above it, then that is a sign that the trend is weakening. In fact, on the first drive out of a cloud on like the 4-hour chart, when you start to see prices drift below the conversion line on a regular basis, and I generally say on the second time it happens, that's when I like to consider getting out, because that's usually telling us that the trend is weak. And then certainly when price, if it were to close below the baseline, that's another area to be looking at taking profit. So, and then the inverse is true for all of those as well. So, and what the next question is, okay, what if we're like what if we have price action like this? What's going on here? Where do you take profit around here? Well, that's where you do a little investigating, and I do this with our with the forex lens and our forex customers in the morning. Is the Ichimoku system, the baseline, that red line, the Kijun-sen line, is a really great indicator of how far something can go. All right, so if we were to measure the distance, let's take these big swings. So like here was a big swing all the way down to the baseline. That's where it was. Big swing to baseline. Big swing. Baseline. Let's see if we see any other bigger swings like down, bearish moves. There's a big one. There. Maybe here. This is a little excessive. Won't use that one. But up. Go here. And so just kind of getting to rough idea. So, 549, 379, 733, 500, 650. Oh, they're kind of all over the place, aren't they? 530, 280. I'd say like 500, I guess. But so looking at the, I mean, that seems to be the mean, or the mid rather. 200, 200. I guess you have multiple profit targets. I should know this. I trade this enough. Yeah. So the profit targets on the Ichimoku, if it depends on the chart you are trading off of. Okay, I'm going to stress that is going to depend on the on your time frame of the chart. So if I'm looking at the Bitcoin dollar pair, my profit targets are going to be a certain distance away from the baseline, because we always think of price being attached to the baseline like on a rubber band. So the farther it moves away from it, the more it wants to snap back to it. Is there a reason for BTC's massive price drop? Well, yeah, I was talking about that at the beginning. Some people said it was because of Goldman Sachs not opening up their crypto desk. I think that is the most bullshit excuse ever, and that is all news is an excuse. Like we were looking at back in yesterday even. Daily. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. When we were looking at this mirrored foldback pattern, you know, this is where the drop happened was right in line with the prior swings. Like if we're going to assume that price is going to continue to follow the prior pattern that it did before, which things always do. I think it's the major Google. Yeah, that's the thing is listen, I'm a Gann analyst. I'm a Gannist, and so I don't think I've really stressed that enough, is that as a Gann trader, I do not approach the market from a random view, nor do I believe that humans have the ability to move a market in a direction that the market wasn't going to go anyways. What I'm saying is that the market has a set pattern that we cannot deviate from. And Gann was big on this by saying that time is the reason that trends and price action changes. Time is the only reason that things change, and everything else is just a reaction. And that is actually, I have found to be something that has worked out as evidence-based frequently. Fib levels are great, yes, and actually Fibonacci levels they're actually a form of a time measurement, not just a price. Fibonacci levels are like a measure of time and price. But if we look at any type of time cycle in Gann's work, and we apply the various ones to different markets, we'll see that you can tell when a market is going to turn before it does. And the things that humans do is is when something moves, we don't know how to quantify it, so we look for a reason. We don't look for the reason, we look for a reason. And so yesterday, all that what people were talking about was the Goldman Sachs thing. That's all the news was. Like all these the cryptocurrency news places were just saying, "Oh, it's because of Goldman Sachs." It's like, really, is that the Mike Murphy? Awesome. Fib time extensions, they are perfect. Gann didn't probably know it, but a lot of his levels, as far as his angles and his cycles, are actually very well. Actually, he did know it, but anyways, time cycles are the ultimate reason for things to move, and that's what we ultimately look for in any great change. News is not something I worry about anymore because it's really irrelevant. Price cycles indicate a change in trend, and they generally happen before the news comes out, and then the news is out, and it is a correlation, not a causation. So, for instance, let's see here. Trying to think of an example. Well, actually, let's just go back to this chart here. If we look at, do you remember this chart from yesterday? These lines are the longitudinal. This is just science. This is just math. This isn't some witchcraft or anything. Okay. It is. It's just how this works. This is the longitudinal position of Venus every 36 degrees. So we go from, and by the way, the banging is the contractors are here. So, we've got 108, 144, and so forth. So this is every 36 degrees we're getting a line painted. This is about one of the most exact cycles I've ever seen, and I actually came across it by accident by going over some of my notes. I'm trying to compile all my notes, and Larry Pesavento wrote in one of his books that one of the things that you should check is the single angle of Venus at 36, 72, and 18 degree divisions. So this is 36 degrees repeated. 18 is a little bit of a headache on the eyes. How do you can't distinguish? This is just random lines. 36 is seems to be the happy medium, and then 72 is also fine. It's stupid. On the 8th of September. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, no doubt about it. Why the 8th? If I'm looking at these cycles, and there's other ways to measure cycles too, but Gann's cycles were mostly related to these day counts, and so what we look for a brand new chart. One of the things we look for are number of days. So the first cycle is a 45-day cycle. So we have the all-time high. You measure out a number of days from there. So 45, and it's calendar days, not trade days. But thankfully in cryptocurrencies, this is made easier because we have every day is a trade day. Now the 45-day cycle actually extends to 49 because Gann said that the 7-week cycle, 7 days times 7 weeks is 49 days. And the number 7 is a very important number in Gann theory. 7 times 7, the number 49 is he called the death zone. That's what he called it, the death zone, that moves often, especially if they've been fast moves up or down, between 45 to 49 days, you will often find a pretty strong counter action trade. So, and that is exactly what happened here. We had this nice big bounce. In fact, if you go to my TradingView profile, I've put a lot of these trades in there before using Gann's day count and taking trades based only on the cycle themselves. So the 49-day cycle, and then the one after that is the 90-day cycle, and the 90 to 98-day cycle. This is the most powerful division in his work. And then we have harmonic fifths. Speaking of those numbers, there was a book written by a guy named Tony Plummer called The Law of Vibration, and he went into musical harmonics. And in fact, Optima, these guys are big Gann nerds. I love Optima by Market Analyst. They actually have where are you at? Triple octave support and resistance. So if we were to, you can identify wherever these swing highs or lows are, and it'll draw out the musical harmonic divisions. And this is also just math. Actually, we know this is related to Fibonacci as well, but do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That is solfege. And then there's also, you can put in the inner octaves as well. This makes more sense when you see it. This is Litecoin's chart with the musical harmonics, and I think I have Bitcoin's. No, it's Astro chart. Nope. What did I do with it? One of the issues with the musical harmonics is that, or really any of those measures of price, is that where do you start? It's oh my gosh, they're doing something crazy in my basement. It's hard to determine where the start point is. But if you start off with very simply just so 256, middle C resonates rounded at 256 hertz, and you double that, and that is 512. You double that, that is, and I actually made a Excel program for this, or no, I made an indicator. Yep, count the octaves, use support. That's exactly it. I want to show you what it looks like on Bitcoin because it's pretty cool. Pine Editor. There it is. So I need to, we'll start with, okay, what is 512 doubled is 1024, doubled is 2084, doubled is 4096. So yeah, let's go 4096. And so 4096, the octave above 4096 is 8192. And this is musical harmonics put on a price chart showing the divisions between the notes of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and voila, we get probably the most natural trading channel in price that you can come up with. And the great part is they're not evenly distributed. Okay, these lines aren't equally divided between one point and the other. It's pretty crazy stuff. I know this seems kind of weird, and we can plot the next octave above too. We can use the by the way, if anybody wants this, my Captain Quenta is my trading view name, so just message me and I'll send you this this indicator. So 8,192 double, that is 16,384. Oh, wait a minute. I actually want to start at 8,192. Oops. So then this is, so this is the octaves of 8,192 to the next octave above that is 16,384. Octaves just double. All right. And let me clear that up with the day counts. Again, looking at the 4-hour chart, we can see that these levels act as very natural support and resistance zones. Okay. And as far as time cycles go, there's a couple ways that you can measure time. I'm way over my time, I know, but there's a Gann would square. He would do a seasonal rotation, or he would do off of an important high or low, and you'd start the day after. So the one that I use a lot is actually this chart here, this 192. Let me switch back over to Bitcoin. So this chart is 192-day cycle. It's the law of vibration. And then I have the price levels. These are actually equal divided in between the natural squares. And that's what this is. So these vertical lines represent divisions in time, and the solid lines represent important squared numbers. So this is a time cycle itself. This is the exact same time cycle that is seen here, where it actually represents the exact middle of this this pattern here. This is the square 52 is just a 52-week cycle. It's a whole year. It's plotted off of a extreme high or an extreme low. So that is what we've got going on here. And the exact mid of where this mirrored foldback pattern started is the exact center of this cycle. And how many days is that? 180 days. That's the second most important time cycle of an inner year in Gann's work, is 180 days. And so that to me, that was easy to identify and plot a mirrored foldback, because we went from an extreme high and we went to an extreme low in this whole cycle. And the probabilities that we have the flip, this mirrored foldback pattern play out are very high, and that is exactly what we're watching play out right now. I want to do more with time cycles as we get into, maybe tomorrow we'll have some time, go more into time cycles, because there's 11-day counts. There's a lot of them, and not every single one works in every single market. For instance, in the square of 144, its cycles are a little different. But they are still relevant and useful. Anyways, sorry, kind of went off on a tangent with some things here, but I had a couple trade ideas in for those laggards. What else was I going to say? Anyways, yeah. So we'll be back here tomorrow at 1 p.m. And for those of you Forex Lens customers watching this live or watching the recording, I will see you all tomorrow morning again at 7:30 a.m. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.